The alien fleet moved like a wall of iron across the black sea of stars, their ships glowing with pride and power. Commanders sat in their high seats, confident that nothing in this corner of the galaxy could stand against them. Human resistance is a joke, one alien officer hissed, his scales shining under the cold light. They build weak colonies, weak weapons. They will bend as all others have. Laughter rolled through the command halls. But then the scanners caught something unusual. One massive object was floating in silence, blacker than the space around. No lights, no movement, no signal. It looked abandoned, broken, lifeless. "What is that?" another officer asked, narrowing his eyes. "Some wreck, maybe," the commander replied, "or a failed human experiment." Yet his voice carried a small tremor. The ship was large, far larger than any human vessel they had ever seen. Its shape sharp and cruel, built like thunder trapped inside metal. But it gave no sign of life, no heartbeat, only silence. "Send scouts," the order was given, and small alien crafts moved forward, their engines glowing like fireflies against the darkness. Inside one of the scout ships, a young alien pilot smirked. "If this is their secret weapon, then humans are finished," his co-pilot grinned back. "We will be the first to report their failure." They flew closer, shining bright beams across the dark hull. But the beams were swallowed by the ship's black armor, as if the light itself refused to touch it. Back in the fleet's command hall, screens flickered with the image of the silent giant. The name etched faintly across its side, letters in human language glowing like scars. One alien read the words slowly. "Thunder. Soul." The hall grew quieter. The name carried a strange weight, heavy, ancient. It sounded more like a warning than a name. "Begin hailing them," the commander ordered. "Make them surrender. Show them the strength of our fleet." Signals were sent. Sharp voices filled the empty void. "Humans, you are surrounded. Power down your engines. Surrender your ship, or be destroyed." But no answer came. Only silence, cold and endless. The commander leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Try again." Another message was broadcast, this time louder, harsher. "We give you one last chance, humans. Surrender now, or face the fire of our fleet." But again, nothing, no words, no sound, not even a flicker of light. The silence began to bite at their pride. One officer growled, "They mock us." Another hissed, "They are cowards hiding inside dead metal." The commander raised a clawed hand. "Enough! They will learn fear." But before he could give the order, something happened. A small flash of light blinked on the Thunder Soul's surface, tiny, almost harmless. The scouts reported quickly, "Commander, movement detected." Mars, the alien leader, smirked. "At last they show themselves." But then his smile froze, because one of the scout ships vanished, torn apart into burning fragments in the blink of an eye. No weapon was seen, no warning, just destruction. Gasps echoed through the command hall. "What was that?" shouted an officer. "What weapon did they use?" No answer came. The screens showed only fire and silence. The remaining scouts turned their ships in panic. "Commander, permission to retreat," one cried, but the order never came. The Thunder Soul remained silent, as if it had done nothing at all. The alien fleet stirred with unease. Voices cracked with doubt. "Their ship is awake," whispered one soldier. "No, impossible," another replied. But even their eyes betrayed fear. The commander slammed his claw against the control panel. "Ready all weapons, erase them now." Hundreds of alien ships prepared to fire, plasma cannons lit up like suns. The stars themselves seemed to burn under the power gathered. "This is the end of their game," the commander growled. "Fire everything." The void exploded with fury. Beams of plasma and lightning roared across the black, slamming against the Thunder Soul. The screens shook, lights flickered. The officers leaned forward, waiting for the human ship to break, to burn, to vanish. But when the fire ended, their smiles died. The Thunder Soul was still there, not a scratch, not a dent. It floated in silence, calm, untouched. One officer whispered, his voice barely more than breath. It absorbed everything. Another shouted in panic, "This cannot be!" Fear spread like poison through the hall. Even the commander's hands trembled slightly, but he forced a growl. "No ship is untouchable. No human can defy us." Yet even as he said it, his eyes betrayed him. On the alien screens, the Thunder Soul shifted. Slow, deliberate, as if waking from a long sleep. Its massive hull glowed with faint lines of light, patterns running across its surface like veins of fire. The silence deepened. Then a single human voice cut through the void, calm, cold. "We gave you a chance." The alien officers froze, their eyes wide. The humans had spoken at last. The voice was not loud, but it carried weight like a hammer. On steel, the commander opened his mouth to respond, but before he could, the Thunder Soul pulsed again, stronger, brighter, energy gathering across its sides. "Commander!" cried one officer. "Their weapons are activating!" Panic grew. The commander shouted, "Hold the line! Hold the line!" But his voice cracked. Every alien eye was locked on the human ship, their pride fading, their confidence bleeding away. The silence turned into dread. Then came the final twist. The human voice returned, colder than before. "This was your warning." And with those words, the Thunder Soul's first strike unleashed. The alien fleet was in shock. Silence gripped their command halls after the Thunder Soul's sudden strike. One scout ship was gone, erased without warning. No one saw the weapon, no one understood what had happened, but the wreckage still burned on their screens. A young officer swallowed hard, his voice trembling. "Commander, we must fall back." The commander slammed his clawed fist on the control panel, his voice sharp. "No retreat. This is one ship, only one. We are 1,000. We will crush them." His eyes blazed with pride, but deep inside even he felt a cold shiver. Another officer leaned closer to the screen, staring at the dark human ship. "Why don't they move?" he whispered. "Why don't they fire again?" The silence of the Thunder Soul was more frightening than its strike. It floated, calmly, black against the stars, like a predator waiting for prey to step closer. One alien pilot in the fleet muttered to his crew, "It must be trickery. Humans use fear as weapons, but their ship cannot be invincible." Another shouted back, "Then why is it still standing after our firestorm?" The argument spread. Like wildfire through the ranks, soldiers who once laughed at humans now looked uneasy, their hands shaking over their controls. The commander raised his voice again. "Charge forward! Surround it!" Hundreds of ships moved in formation, closing in like a steel net around the Thunder Soul. Engines burned bright, weapons ready. The alien fleet roared with false courage. But inside, many hearts were already afraid. Inside the Thunder Soul, human officers stood calm at their stations. Screens showed the alien ships tightening around them. "They believe numbers will save them," one officer said with a faint smile. The captain's eyes were cold, his voice quiet but heavy. "They don't understand. Numbers mean nothing against truth." The alien fleet fired again. Thousands of beams cut across space. Waves of energy filled the void. It looked like the end of a world. Yet when the light faded, the Thunder Soul still floated untouched. Its shield shimmered for a moment and then went dark, as if mocking. One alien soldier screamed, "It's impossible." Another cried, "Our strongest weapons are dust against them." Panic spread, voices broke into chaos. The commander shouted, "Silence, hold your ground, one ship cannot destroy us all." But even as he spoke, doubt poisoned his words. The Thunder Soul pulsed with light again, lines of blue fire crawling across its hull. Then the same human voice returned, calm and merciless. "You were warned." The words echoed across alien channels, chilling every ear that heard them. Suddenly, one alien officer pointed at his screen. "Commander, movement!" The Thunder Soul shifted for the first time, its massive body turning slowly, deliberately, aiming at the core of the alien formation. Silence fell again. Then the strike came. It was not one beam, not one blast, but a storm. Light poured out like rivers of fire. Alien ships vanished in waves. Whole formations torn apart in seconds. The void became a burning sea. Screams filled the comms. They are erasing us. Shields down. Engines failing. No order could hold them together. The commander's eyes widened as his fleets died before him. His voice broke. This cannot be real. No weapon holds such power. But reality burned on the screens. Thousands of lives gone in a single heartbeat. One alien captain of a surviving ship begged through the comm, "Commander, please! We cannot win. Give the order to retreat." But before the commander could answer, the Thunder Soul spoke again. "Run if you wish. You cannot hide from truth." Ships scattered, formations broke. Some fled, some tried to fight, but all were hunted. Another strike swept across them, and again silence returned. Wreckage floated where proud warships had once stood. The commander sank back in his seat, his claws trembling, his pride shattered. His officers stared at him with wide, fearful eyes. One whispered, "What are humans?" Another muttered, "Not prey. Predators." The truth was clear now. Humans were untouchable. Inside the Thunder Soul, the human captain gave no smile, no celebration, only silence. His officers watched the wreckage with calm eyes. One asked softly, "Will they come again?" The captain replied, "They will. But next time, they will." Come in fear, not in pride. Back in the alien homeworld, reports spread like fire. Generals gathered in fear. The High Council listened to the shattered voice of their surviving commander. "Their ship, their Thunder Soul, cannot be broken," he whispered, shame heavy in his throat. "We threw fire at them, and it turned to nothing. They struck once, and our fleet was gone." The council chamber fell silent. No laughter, no arrogance, just the heavy weight of dread. One elder spoke slowly. "If one ship holds this power, what happens if they send a fleet?" Another elder lowered his head. "Then the galaxy belongs to them." The name Thunder Soul burned into alien memory, whispered like a curse. No alien soldier would forget that day. No alien commander would ever laugh at humans again. They had seen the storm, and they knew they could never defeat it. The wreckage of the alien fleet still floated in silence, twisted metal drifting like broken bones across the stars. Survivors clung to what was left of their ships, their voices trembling through the comms. "They destroyed us, Commander. They erased us." Fear had replaced pride, and no words of courage could cover the truth. On the bridge of the Thunder Soul, the human crew watched quietly, their faces calm, but their eyes sharp. One young officer whispered, "They will not stop. They will bring more." The captain nodded slowly, his voice calm and steady. "Then let them come. They must learn what humans are." His words carried no boast, only certainty. Back among the alien survivors, chaos ruled. One captain shouted, "We must retreat. Warn the council." Another screamed, "We cannot leave. If we run, they will hunt us." Arguments filled the channels. Fear twisted their minds. Some wanted to flee, others wanted revenge. None knew what was right. The alien commander, his pride shattered but not gone, stood tall in the middle of the broken fleet. "Listen to me," he roared, though his voice cracked. "We are soldiers, not cowards. Humans may have one ship, but we are many worlds. Many fleets. If we fall back now, our empire will laugh at us. We must show strength." Yet even as he spoke, his claws trembled. One officer dared to answer, "Commander, strength is useless. Against ghosts, their ship does not bleed. It does not break. What are we fighting?" Silence followed. No one had an answer. They all stared at the black giant floating in the distance, the Thunder Soul. The human ship moved again, slowly, calmly, its lights glowing faintly like veins of fire under its armor. The sight alone made the aliens shiver. "It watches us," one soldier whispered, "like a predator waiting to strike." Another hissed, "Maybe it's playing with us. Maybe the first strike was only a warning." The alien commander forced his voice to stay strong. "Ready weapons. Prepare to strike." Again, we will drown them in fire until nothing remains. But even as he said it, his officers hesitated. None wanted to be the first to face the storm again. Inside the Thunder Soul, silence reigned. The crew waited for their captain's order. "They gather strength again," one officer said. "Do we strike now?" The captain shook his head slowly. "Not yet. Let them believe they have a chance. Fear is stronger when hope dies." His words sent a chill even through his own men. The alien fleet gathered, though smaller than before. Their remaining ships formed a circle, weapons glowing. Their commander raised his arm. "Now, fire!" Once more, beams of plasma and fire poured through the void. The stars lit up with their fury. The humans were buried under the storm. When the light cleared, the Thunder Soul remained, untouched. Its shields shimmered and then faded back to silence. The alien crews stared in horror. "It's impossible. No ship can survive that," one shouted. Another cried, "Our weapons are useless." Panic spread again, voices cracking. Then the Thunder Soul answered, its deep voice cutting across every channel, calm, steady, and merciless. "You waste your fire. You waste your lives. Leave now, or there will be nothing left." The words struck harder than weapons. Soldiers froze at their stations. Commanders stared at one another with wide, fearful eyes. But pride still lived in their leader. He spat. "Back into the comm. We are not slaves to your threats. We will not kneel to humans." His officers flinched. But none dared to challenge him. His voice shook, yet he forced the order. "Prepare all forces. Ram them if you must. We end this here." The human captain heard the defiance. His lips curled into the faintest smile, not of joy, but of grim certainty. "So be it," he said quietly. "They have chosen their end." His crew stiffened, hands moving across controls. The Thunder Soul glowed brighter. Before the aliens could charge, the Thunder Soul struck, not with one blast, but with hundreds. Streams of fire spread like rivers of lightning. Alien ships broke apart in seconds. One officer screamed, "Shields collapsing!" Another shouted, "Engines gone!" The circle of ships was torn open like paper. One alien ship tried to ram the Thunder Soul, its engines burning at full, but before it reached, a single beam sliced it clean in two. Silence followed, wreckage scattered, their sacrifice meant nothing. The alien commander's voice returned, broken and weak. "Fall back, retreat, save who you can." The pride that once filled him was gone. Now he sounded like prey running from a predator. His officers obeyed without question, scattering into the dark, leaving their dead behind. The Thunder Soul did not chase, it only watched, its massive body glowing faintly. Its human captain gave one final command. "Let them go. Fear will spread faster than our fire." His officers nodded, none argued. They all knew the truth. The real victory was not in the battle, but in the terror left behind, far away. In the alien council chambers, reports arrived. Generals spoke in whispers. "They did not fight us. They erased us," one elder asked. "What weapon do they hold?" The answer came from a trembling commander. "Not a weapon, a storm. A storm in the shape of a ship." The council fell into silence. From that day, the name Thunder Soul carried through every corner of the galaxy, whispered by soldiers, feared by leaders. No aliens spoke it with laughter again. The humans had proven something greater than strength. They had proven they were untouchable. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath as the Thunder Soul drifted through. The battlefield, broken alien ships scattered like dust behind it, glowing wreckage floated in silence. The once mighty fleet had been reduced to shadows of what they were. Yet more ships were already coming, drawn by orders from their empire. In the Alien War Council, voices argued in panic. "We must send more fleets," one general shouted. "If we pull back, humans will grow bolder." Another general slammed, his fist on the table. "Do you not see our weapons cannot break them? More fleets will only mean more graves." The council leader rose, his eyes burning with pride. One ship cannot decide the fate of empires. Send everything, burn them out of the stars. And so it was decided. The survivors who had faced the Thunder Soul begged to be heard, their voices desperate. You do not understand, this is no ship, it is death itself. But no one listened. Pride drowned their fear. And so another armada rose from the alien homeworlds, greater in size, fiercer in design. Thousands of ships filled the void, determined to erase the humans. On the bridge of the Thunder Soul, human officers watched their screens. Signals flooded in as the new armada approached. One young soldier asked, "Captain, do we stand against them all?" The captain's voice was calm, steady. "Yes, we stand, we do not run." His tone was quiet, but his eyes carried the fire of certainty. The alien fleet arrived in waves, their formation stretched like a storm across the stars. Their commander spoke through the comm, his voice filled with pride. "Human ship, you face the full might of our empire. Your tricks end here, your death is certain." Silence followed. Then the same human voice answered, "You already faced truth and lost. You come again, then you come to die." The alien commander snarled, "Arrogant prey." He raised his hand, "Fire everything." And the sky exploded. Beams of plasma, lightning and missiles rained down. Thousands of weapons roared at once. The stars vanished in their fury. The void shook with power. For a moment it seemed the Thunder Soul could not survive. But when the storm ended, the Thunder Soul was still there, its shields glowing faintly before fading back into silence. Not a single scratch marked its hull. Human officers stood steady. Their captain finally gave the command, his voice cold. "Now, strike!" The Thunder Soul came alive, its hull glowing with lines of light. Energy surged through its body like veins of fire. Then its weapons opened, not one beam, not one missile, but an ocean of destruction. Hundreds of lances of energy shot outward at once, moving faster than eyes could follow. Alien ships vanished in bursts of light, entire squadrons erased in seconds. On the alien flagship, officers screamed as their screens lit with chaos. "We are losing ships. Entire wings are gone." The commander roared. "Regroup, reform lines, surround it." But no formation could hold. Every time they closed in, the Thunder Soul struck again, cutting them apart like glass. One alien pilot cried into the comm, "It's not fighting us, it's slaughtering us." Another shouted, "We are insects before a storm." Panic spread faster than orders. Some ships tried to flee. Others charged in desperation. None made a difference. Inside the Thunder Soul, the captain's voice remained calm. "Left flank, 3 destroyers, erase them." His officers moved with precision. One pressed the controls, and 3 enemy ships burst apart before the order was even finished. Another officer reported, "Rear formation attempting to escape." The captain gave a single nod. "Show them there is no escape." The Thunder Soul's weapons turned, and fleeing ships dissolved into fire. The alien commander's pride collapsed. He slammed his fists on the console, shouting, "No, no, this cannot be. We are the strongest empire. We cannot fall to humans." His officers stared at him with wide eyes. None answered. Their hands shook. Fear hollowed their faces. One dared to whisper a commander. "We are finished." The Thunder Soul unleashed its strongest strike. A wave of energy spread outward in a circle, sweeping through the void. Everything in its path shattered. Hundreds of alien ships exploded at once. Silence followed. The galaxy lit for a moment as if by a second sun, and then nothing but wreckage remained. Back on the alien homeworld, reports flooded the council chambers. Generals sat pale and shaking. "Another armada. Gone," one whispered. "Thousands of ships gone." Another covered his face, his voice breaking. "What are they? What have we awakened?" The elder council leader stood, but even his pride faltered. "If one ship can destroy our greatest fleet, then humanity is no prey. They are the hunters." Silence followed. The truth burned in every mind. The empire that once ruled with fear now trembled under a new shadow. On the bridge of the Thunder Soul, the captain looked at the wreckage scattered across space. His officers turned to him, waiting. One asked softly, "What now?" The captain's eyes narrowed. "Now we wait, because fear will travel faster than our ship ever could." His voice was steady, unshaken. Across the stars, the name Thunder Soul spread, whispered in fear by alien soldiers, cursed by commanders, remembered by survivors. Every tale carried the same truth. The first true strike of the Thunder Soul had changed the galaxy, and every race now knew. Humans were not untouchable because of their weapons. They were untouchable because nothing could break their will. The battlefield was quiet now, the Thunder Soul drifting among the wreckage of the alien armada. Broken hulls floated like corpses in the dark. Fires burned slowly, lighting the silence. With faint sparks, the human ship had not chased the last survivors. It had simply watched them run, its presence alone enough to crush their courage. Inside the alien High Council, chaos spread. Generals argued with voices filled with fear. "We cannot face them again. Every fleet we send is destroyed," one shouted. "If we surrender, the humans will enslave us," another hissed back. The council leader slammed his fist on the table. "Enough, we will not bow. Humans bleed as we do. There must be a weakness." But his words sounded hollow. One young officer who had survived stood before them, his body still shaking. "You do not understand," he said quietly. "We fired everything, and nothing touched them. They strike with storms, and we vanish. They are not like us. They are something else," the council scoffed. But deep in their eyes, fear grew. Across the stars, whispers spread like disease. Alien soldiers in far colonies whispered the name Thunder Soul. Some said it was a cursed ship built from the souls of the dead. Others swore it was alive, a beast wearing metal skin. The truth mattered little, the fear mattered more. On the bridge of the Thunder Soul, silence filled the air. Human officers watched reports come in from distant listening posts. "They are moving fleets back, pulling ships to guard their homeworlds," one said. The captain leaned forward, his voice calm. "They are afraid. Fear is more powerful than any strike we fire," another officer asked softly. "Will they ever face us again?" But the captain's eyes stayed cold. "They will try because pride blinds them, but each time they return, they will break further." His words carried no triumph, only certainty. Far away, alien commanders trained new soldiers, forcing them to believe humans could be beaten. One trainer barked at his recruits. "Do not listen to the cowards who whisper, humans are flesh and bone. Their ship is only metal. They can die as we can." But his own hands shook when he spoke. His eyes darted to the stars, as if fearing the black shape might already be watching. In one dark chamber, a group of alien scientists whispered to the council, "Perhaps the ship is not invincible. Perhaps it draws power from something we do not see," one scientist said. "If we can understand it, we can build against it." The council leader clung to this hope. "Then study. Tear apart our resources if you must, but find me an answer, or our empire will crumble." Meanwhile, survivors from the last battle drifted back home, their ships broken, their voices hollow. One soldier sat in silence before the council, his eyes lost. "We fired everything, and it only looked at us. Then the stars turned to fire," he whispered. No one laughed at him, no one called him coward, for they all saw the truth in his eyes. Back on the Thunder Soul, the human crew gathered in the command hall. One officer asked, "Captain, why not destroy them all? Why leave survivors?" The captain looked at the screen showing the broken enemy ships pulling away. "Because survivors carry stories, and stories are stronger than fire. Fear will travel faster than us." His crew nodded, understanding. The next day, another alien fleet appeared at the edge of human territory. Not to fight, but to watch, their commander whispered to his crew. Do not fire unless fired upon. We only need to see if the Thunder Soul is real." But when their scanners lit up, the massive shadow appeared again, drifting like a ghost. The crew froze. No one dared breathe. "It is real," one whispered. "It is death itself." They turned and fled before a single weapon fired. Reports reached the alien council within hours. They saw it, and they ran. A messenger said, "The Thunder Soul did not even strike," and they ran. The chamber was silent, shame and terror mixing like poison. The council leader slammed the floor with his staff. "Enough of this. Fear spreads because we let it. We will remind the galaxy who we are." But his voice shook, and his people heard it. Back on the Thunder Soul, the captain walked the quiet bridge, his crew busy at their stations. One young officer whispered, "They fear us now more than they hate us," the captain answered. Softly, "Good, let fear guide them. Hatred will make them foolish. Fear will keep them away." But then a warning signal came. A scout ship detected movement, hundreds of alien vessels gathering again. The crew turned to their captain. One asked, "Will they never learn?" The captain's eyes hardened. "They will learn, but the lesson is not yet finished." The alien fleet approached slowly, not with pride but with desperation. Their commander broadcast his voice, trying to hide his fear. "Human ship, you will not break us. We come again, and this time we will not stop." The Thunder Soul did not answer at once. Silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Then at last the calm voice returned. "You speak as if you have a choice, but your fate was written the moment you stood against us." The alien crews trembled, but their commander roared, "Fire! Fire everything!" And once again, the void lit up with weapons. Once again, the Thunder Soul did not fall. Its shields drank the fire, and then came the storm. The human ship unleashed its wrath. Lances of light tore through the alien fleet. Explosions echoed in silence. Whole wings vanished in seconds. Officers screamed. Soldiers begged. Pride turned to terror once more. And in minutes, the battle was over. The alien commander's voice cracked across the channel. "Please, mercy," he whispered, broken. The Thunder Soul's captain listened, then spoke coldly. "You were warned, again and again. There will be no mercy for those who bring war." The line went silent. When the battle ended, only ruins remained. The galaxy knew the truth. The Thunder Soul's name was no longer a warning, it was a sentence. The galaxy was no longer the same. Whispers of the Thunder Soul spread from one world to another. Every colony, every soldier, every commander had heard the stories. Some said the ship was built by ancient gods. Others swore it carried the souls of fallen warriors. But all agreed on one truth: humans could not be stopped. On the alien homeworld, the High Council gathered in silence. Their proud banners hung heavy, their faces pale. One general spoke first, his voice low. "We have lost every fleet, every armada, what is left to send." Another slammed his claws on the table. "We cannot surrender, our empire has ruled. For centuries we cannot bow to humans." But his words carried no fire, only fear. One elder leaned forward, her voice steady but cold. "Then what choice remains? Our soldiers refuse to fight, our colonies whisper in fear. Even our own children play in the streets shouting the human name, Thunder Soul." The chamber grew quiet. No one could deny it. Meanwhile, survivors from the latest battle drifted back home, their ships broken and spirits crushed. One commander stood before the council, his voice trembling. "We begged for mercy, and they gave none. Their captain spoke as if we were nothing. He said we were warned, and then he ended us." His eyes lowered in shame. No one dared to mock him. Across the stars, fear grew heavier. Alien soldiers sat in barracks refusing to march. Captains looked at their crews and saw only shaking hands. One officer whispered, "How do you fight a storm?" No one answered. On the bridge of the Thunder Soul, the human crew stood calm, watching their screens. Reports flooded in from spies and satellites. Enemy fleets retreating, colonies reinforcing defenses. "They hide from us now," one officer said quietly. The captain's eyes narrowed. "Good, let fear keep them still." Another officer asked, "Captain, will they ever surrender?" The captain's reply was simple. "They will, not because we demand it, but because they have no choice." Far away, alien leaders planned in secret, whispering in shadows. "Perhaps, if we strike their homeworld, we can cripple them," one suggested. But another shook his head. "If their ships hold such power, imagine what their world holds. We would not conquer it, we would vanish in fire." The thought chilled them into silence. Still, pride refused to die. In the council chambers, the leader of the empire stood tall, his voice echoing, "If we fall to fear, then we are already dead. We will send one last fleet, the greatest we have ever built, not to win, but to prove we are not cowards." His generals bowed, but deep inside, dread hollowed their hearts. The final fleet gathered, tens of thousands of ships, the largest armada their empire had ever known. Soldiers boarded with shaking legs, some whispering prayers, others cursing their leaders, all knowing they were marching toward death. When the Thunder Soul appeared again, drifting like a shadow, the fleet froze. Silence filled the comms. Their commander shouted to steady them, "Remember who you are. We fight for our empire, for our pride." But even he felt the weight of doom. The human voice echoed once more, calm and merciless. "You bring more lives to the fire, but your fate is already written. We will not strike first. Leave or be ended." The alien fleet wavered. Soldiers looked at one another. Many wanted to flee, but their leaders forced them forward. "Fire!" the order rang, and the void lit up again once more. Their fury turned to nothing. The Thunder Soul stood untouched, and then it moved, glowing brighter than ever before. Its weapons flared. Storms of energy ripped through the fleet. Alien ships burst apart like sparks in a wind. Screams filled the comms. "We are falling, shields gone, engines gone." Formations broke in seconds. Inside the flagship, the alien commander's voice cracked. "No, no, this cannot be the end." His officers stared at him with hollow eyes. One whispered, "It is already over." The Thunder Soul's captain gave a single order, "End this," and the ship released its full strike. A wave of destruction rolled across the battlefield. Thousands of ships vanished in fire. The greatest fleet of the alien empire was gone. In minutes, silence followed. Back on the alien homeworld, news arrived like a knife to the heart. Their empire's pride had been erased. The council sat in silence, unable to speak. Finally, the leader lowered his head, his voice heavy. "We cannot fight them. We cannot win. Humanity is untouchable." The words tasted bitter, but they were truth. Across their worlds, soldiers dropped weapons, civilians whispered prayers. Fear had become law. The Thunder Soul had broken not only their fleets, but their spirit on the human ship. The captain looked at his officers, his face calm. "It is finished," he said, but one officer asked, "Captain, what if they rise again?" The captain's eyes narrowed. "Then they will remember this day, and they will know the truth. Humans are not to be tested." His crew stood in silence, the weight of his words echoing. The galaxy changed forever that day. The aliens who once ruled with power now bowed to fear, and the name Thunder Soul became more than a story. It became a shadow, a reminder that humans had risen untouchable, unstoppable, unbroken.